Today's event is really important because it gives us an opportunity to bring together all of the people who provide services in the system together with the local community to talk about how we develop a new model.
We wanted to get people to talk about the new re-procurement of community services in a way in which that encouraged them to talk across the system, because very often in the NHS we do little bits of work and we don't encourage people to talk across different organisational boundaries. And some of the feedback we've had is that actually for this new procurement to work, it needs to work well across different organisations.
My role is to take it from the concept, which is probably where we were about 6 months ago, all the way through to the procurement, which will be due for completion in April 2020. And it's always quite inspiring to hear what the patients and the public have to say, because I think we are a little bit removed. We hear frontline stories, we've become a little bit detached. At the close of every single session we've had, I've learnt something new. And after the first time when we went away and did the model, we managed to convert it into a set of slides and present it. But then there's always that, well, you missed that, or what if, or how about this? And I think for me, there were probably a few nuggets that became really quite real in there.
And we have got many innovative ideas, but what we want to do is we want to share those ideas with people, and we've developed them with people in the community. We want to tell you what we've heard, we want to tell you how they think that affects the proposition that we have about services going forward, but we really want people to test those. We want to say, does this make sense to you? Do you think that this will work? Will it make things better?
You just saw a red card go up there. Maggie from Healthwatch put a red card up. There are some patient panel representatives in the room who have been specifically tasked with pulling us up when we start talking rubbish.
So what we've done is we designed the session today to create a mini whole system within the ballroom here at the hotel. We've got some actors involved to bring alive some case studies. Those case studies were based on hypotheticals, but really embedded in some of the feedback that we've already had about some of the problems and some of the issues that real patients are experiencing. Those actors brought those case studies alive, and people really responded to that. They got excited with it. They talked to the actors, and the actors got involved in some of the discussions.
It sounds like you're in a very tough and challenging situation, and I wondered whether you'd access support from any of the dementia drop-in clinics we have.
My job was to then take the whole system through the different challenges that have been identified and to get them to talk to each other about creating some of those solutions and working out how the model could work as well as it possibly could.
Through a series of 3 scenes, we just explored the different dynamics and difficulties that some patients are experiencing with their own sort of individual cases. And we brought that to life, acting out those characters. And then we found that people actually really engaged with it, and it was open up to the floor for questions.
I think it's going really well. It was really good to have the case studies brought to life, and I think it made people think a little bit about some of the things that might need tweaking in the current services. And yes, I think getting that patient involvement is going to be really, really good and very beneficial to the new model.
The new service will mean that patients won't have to keep retelling their story. So having a multidisciplinary team will mean that patients will have access to a range of staff, and that those staff will have access to their records. One of the things we hear at the moment is that it's really frustrating to have to tell lots of individual staff about what's been happening to you. Under the new service, the integration of staff and the integration of records will mean that patients won't have to keep doing that.
So what we've done this afternoon is we've stress tested that model using those case studies. We've got people to say, this bit works for me, that bit doesn't. What they need to do in order to make another bit of the system work, and identify some of the actions that were required going forward. In terms of the next steps, the commissioners are going to go away and process all of this information, and we've had a great wealth of information from patients, from GPs, from the current providers, from the hospital. And it's really important that we go away and process that and then use that information to refine the model and check that it works. So that's what we're doing next.